Welcome to Business Voice, a program of the Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce. Each month, we'll feature business and community leaders sharing their stories, initiatives, concerns, and passions. Learn practical information regarding community resources and opportunities. Now, the host of Business Voice, Greece Regional Chamber President and CEO, Sarah Lentini.
I'm Sarah Lentini, and I'm delighted to welcome my next guest, Sean McKay, owner of SiteHub. Welcome, Sean.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. So SiteHub, people might be able to figure out what that is, but maybe not. Tell us what SiteHub is and how long you started the company, right? How long it's been around.
Yeah, so I started SiteHub in 2012. And basically, at the time, it was meant just to be a website company. Mm-hmm. I thought I was just going to just build websites. But I quickly learned that people needed more than a website. You know, it's not like the field of dreams, that build it and they will come. Unfortunately, with websites, you have to do a little extra work to get people to get there and to turn that investment into something that brings back a return, right? So we've quickly expanded into doing digital marketing, really kind of summarizing everything. We do awareness, reputation, and conversion for our clients.
Oh, those are big words.
Yeah.
Yeah, that covers a lot of ground. Awareness, reputation, and conversion.
Yeah.
And conversion is a very specific term. I think awareness and reputation kind of speak for themselves, but conversion has, is almost. I'm not sure if the lay public would understand that term, but basically you're talking about converting somebody who's maybe looked at something into someone who takes action. Is that?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the benefit of digital, right? Is that we have the ability to track when somebody sees and takes action, and then we can improve on that frequency in which the people are taking action. So really, at the end of the day, it becomes more about ROI.
Return on investment.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's great. So, and digital marketing is really exploding, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's now there are many companies in this arena.
Totally.
And you're right. If it used to be about you have to have a website, now it's about you need to have a digital marketing, not just presence but strategy, right?
Yeah. I mean, speaking to both of those points, I think that every 20-something nowadays says they do marketing, right? You bump into somebody at a networking event, they generally you hear a lot of that. So finding a way to differentiate was important for us. But yeah, digital marketing really is the hot thing now. You know,
right.
It's more than, again, just more than building a website. It's about trying to get a return from it. Businesses are always asking, well, what am I going to get out of it? What's the end result? And I really like working with people who are result oriented. Mm-hmm. So
they probably appreciate seeing those results because they're results oriented, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So here in this very crowded landscape that we've just been describing, that's exploding with companies and people of all kinds, you've got this great this great accolade that you got this year, right? You are the you're going to correct me when I get this wrong, right, Sean? But you were named Best in Digital Marketing by none other than Digital Rochester this year.
That's correct. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Way to go.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, I found that, you don't get into business for recognition, but it's nice to get a little bit every now and again.
Oh, yeah.
So
of course it is.
It's been an honor.
Yeah. And it seems to me that, that's something that it must have been a highly competitive process.
Yeah. Actually, I'm surprised. There was a lot of competition. And our competition was quite massive in comparison, in size and in breadth and depth and scope. So I really do feel like we covered some ground by winning that. I mean, it was really judged based on results. Mm-hmm. So, I'm as you know, Sarah, I'm really big into data, and I'm kind of a nerd about this stuff. So being so results focused probably helped me out. We really, again, it was at the end of the day, it came down to return on investment, and apparently we had the best.
That's great.
Yeah.
So tell us how you got involved in this business. You said 2012 you started the company. Were you working were you working with website development before you started your own business? What brought you here?
I guess it's kind of a funny story. I built my first website business, online business, when I was 13.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I had a subscription-based website.
I don't even know what that means.
People paid to basically have access to the website. So we shared.
You were making money?
Yeah, I remember when I made $1,000. I was like 14, made $1,000, and I felt like my whole world had changed.
Well,
I felt like I was a millionaire,
might feel that way today.
Yeah. It felt like
Wow.
it felt like a lot more money than really it was. But yeah, it was exhilarating. And
Who
after
taught
that,
you how to develop websites at the age of 13? How does one get that good at the? Is that a family thing? Is that school? Is that you just picking up a book or two or hanging around somebody? How did you learn that?
It was a mix, right? So I had my cousin, my older cousin. I always looked up to him. He was always into computers, and he was a big inspiration for me to kind of get into technology. And he always helped me out with stuff that I couldn't figure out myself. But I also hung around with people similarly like technologically advanced rather. I did take classes in high school, but at this point, 13, I was probably in middle school at that time, right? Yeah. So I hadn't done any actual training or reading of any sort. It's kind of something I figured out.
That's amazing. So clearly a passion.
Yeah.
Always good when something's a passion, right?
Yeah. I mean, it truly is. It's technology is basically the thing I'm good at, right? So
right.
I love it. I love being good at something. I think everybody does.
Yeah, but it's more than technology too. I mean, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's become also about people, right? I mean, owning a business is much more about people than it is the skill. And so, transitioning from the technician into the entrepreneur was a growth point for me too that I had to go under, right? So learning how to be good with communication and people and networking and
that scary
that's become
stuff.
My passion now. Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
that's a great point.
Yeah.
And it's one of the tough things about owning your own business is you have to be good at many things, right?
Yeah.
I think.
No,
I don't know.
yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. I'm guessing that it
or
taps
fake it.
you. Or fake it. Fake it until you are, right?
Yeah. You have to figure some stuff out on your own.
That's great. So you built a website at 13.
Right. So there's the beginning of the story.
You made $1,000. Yeah. You said, this is keen. I want to do this.
This is nice.
It probably wasn't keen that you used.
Keen was not the first word.
I didn't think so. That'd be my word. Yeah.
But I thought this is nice. And then, I went to school for IT. And I actually wanted to go into computer forensics. I was going to be a professional hacker.
There's such a thing?
There is. My friend's dad at the time was that. He would basically tell us how he would hack a bank. He'd get hired by the bank to hack them, tell them what they need to fix. And it was lucrative. It was a great job.
Of course.
And I thought, wow, I'd love to do that. So I went down that path. And then around that time, actually, sadly, my father had passed away. And so I kind of shifted my life a bit. And I dropped out of school. I just quit my job. Everything kind of changed.
Wow.
My dad was a big influence in my life, very close with my father. And then he was an entrepreneur. And at some point, I just thought, well, let me just try doing something on my own instead of going down this path where I'm going to work for someone else for the rest of my life. Oh. So, I started my business kind of on a whim. Called people randomly cold called until I got someone convinced I could build them a website.
Wow.
Figured that out after I sold it. And then it evolved from there. I mean, my business was very homegrown at the start. We had my first sales guy worked on a guitar case that sat on top of an amp and in a kitchen chair. That was his desk.
Oh, my goodness.
So if you can imagine that. And then
I think I can, actually.
Yeah.
Good picture.
It was very low budget to begin with. But now, I don't take a lot of time to reflect on it, but I am proud that we have our office down now. You saw
I did
on East and Alexander.
It's
on
beautiful.
East
It's a gorgeous office, and you were in that neighborhood to begin with. But this is a gorgeous office. So tell us about that because that's a cool space, right?
It is. It's really cool. I want to take a sec to actually recognize that the space is part of Metro Cowork, which is a new Rochester's newest cowork in town. So that offers an opportunity for people like me when I first started to actually have a legitimate desk and an office space. So you can rent out a desk, I think for as cheap as $150 a month.
Wow.
You're in an environment full of other entrepreneurs. You have shared services and Wi-Fi and coffee and all the things.
Coffee. Always comes back to the coffee.
It does.
For me too.
And if you have a meeting, you can actually show off a legitimate looking space.
Mm-hmm. It's actually more than legitimate. It's very
nice.
very modern, very chic.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I think it's Rochester's
end.
first purpose built cowork. There's other kind of places in town, but these guys are really the ones that built a whole space around this. I don't know if you're familiar with the WeWork model. It's in a lot of other states. WeWork is kind of the corporate version of this.
Interesting.
But Metro really made something for Rochesterians. So it's cool. We're attached to that. So we have an office, about 1,000 square foot office next to it. And we're going to be supporting the folks in the co-work.
Oh, that's very cool as well.
Yeah.
And it's a great, you're really you're on the, you're really on the street and you're visible from the street, and you've got your great big SiteHub, right, imagery and brand and sign right on the windows of the building, which is fantastic.
That is cool.
Yeah. So you're happy.
Very happy. Yeah. I'm excited for this next chapter for sure.
Right. And you've got great people working for you too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that's a big change. I mean, not that I didn't have great people, but, actually having employees was a step
Another
for us.
learning curve.
Another
Yes.
learning curve. And here we are.
Yeah. We were just having this conversation at the chamber. We had a committee meeting that involved a number of chamber members yesterday, and we were talking about all the, it really is a challenge running a business and running a small business. And not only do you have to have all these skills, right? Technical skills and people skills and sales skills and marketing, which is not the same as sales, but you also need to, sometimes be aware of all kinds of things that are really, that you could do a deep dive in any one of them. I mean, one of the things that a lot of business owners are wanting to make sure that they know about, or all these different I would call them labor HR kinds of regulations that are coming down the pike, that they that everybody has to abide by, and just keeping up to date with what all those are and how to make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do is just another kind of a challenge for a business owner. So that's one of the things the chamber is going to be taking on, is providing some nice resources, certainly some workshops and presentations, but also some resources in partnership with other members who have that expertise, because we know how important it is. But tell us more about I know you've sort of described it, but the workspace concept. So is this something that's sweeping the country? And I'd say so. Yeah, it's a big model. WeWork, I believe, I could be quoting this wrong, but I believe WeWork is the largest real estate holder in the nation. They own more real estate than I think anyone else. I believe that's true. And that's the original. That's the origin of the model.
Yeah,
the company that has the.
Exactly, they're the corporate version.
Okay.
They really kind of made this model of co-working, and we've had a space in town for a while. We've had a couple options in town, but again, I think Metro is the first one kind of its kind here that's built after that model, where it's a premium space. It's really sharp. You'd be proud to show off your office, basically.
Right. So in case you're just joining us, you're listening to Business Voice, a program of the Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce here on WYSL, sponsored by Pet Saver Healthy Pet Superstore. And I'm Sarah Lentini, sitting here talking with Sean McKay, who is the owner of SiteHub, a company that just won Best in Digital Marketing from Digital Rochester. It's all a mouthful, folks. I'm having a hard time chewing through those words. But so congratulations once again. But Sean has been talking to us about workspace, a model that is not just here in Rochester, but that is starting to explode, that he's now very connected to. So where SiteHub is downtown, we've said, but where downtown? Where are you located?
We're actually right on East and Alexander. 350 East Avenue is the address. And come by and say hi anytime.
Really?
Our doors
People
are open.
can,
Absolutely. Yeah, it's open space. And we'd love to show you around the co-work. So the co-work is literally attached to our office through an adjacent door. So,
and the co-work is like a big space, right? Right. With all what you were describing before, all these different people that are, from different. Are they all from different disciplines? Or?
Yeah, I mean, it's really anybody. I think that the focus here is to bring in a lot of those technology companies and those solopreneurs who really just need a place to work in a collaborative way. Though they don't. Really, they're focused on bringing people together. Mm-hmm. So it's not just everybody goes in their office and shuts their door. It's an open workspace, and literally you're going to be next to people who could possibly be of a totally different discipline. But the hope is that you find ways to work together.
So you're not forcing people to work together, but you're enabling,
right.
you're removing the obstacles to people knowing each other. What a great idea that is. I mean, I imagine, you think about a traditional office building, and
Right.
there were thick walls. So maybe there was somebody on the other side of that wall that might have been a great partner for you in some way. Could have been a customer, could have been a colleague, and you might never have, even met them.
Exactly.
Buildings being what they are and people being what they are. So that's great. And I saw there was a beautiful out, like a spot out back, and all kinds of pretty spaces and places to bring your clients, but also to hopefully mix and mingle with these other folks. So what is on the horizon for SiteHub? You've gotten accolades, you've grown, presumably you've got a good customer base at this point. What's next?
That's a really good question. I think depends how far down the future we're looking. Mm-hmm. But, really our mission is bringing high-tech tools that might have felt out of reach for a small business to those smaller companies. So we want to continue doing that. I mean, like, for example, right now we're working with a lot of folks on geofencing, which is a technology that previously was only available to large companies, but basically allows now any small business to advertise to people within a very specific geographic location. So we could target people who are entering certain buildings with an accuracy of 9 feet and reach them with ongoing digital advertising. So
tell us a little about how that works, because
it's a little scary, right?
Well, of course it's scary. By definition, it's actually terrifying. It's actually terrifying. So you're basically saying, and how are you targeting them? Is it because they have a cell phone on them?
Yeah, I mean, everybody has a device or two, right?
Okay. So I've got a cell phone in my purse, let's say, and I'm walking into your building.
Yeah.
So how is it that you're able to? What are you connecting to, and how are you geo-targeting me?
There's 2 sources of location on your device. I mean, at all times, you either have location services enabled for GPS, or your carrier knows where you are.
Even if I said I didn't want to do that, okay.
Yeah,
got it.
So, and now the thing to keep in mind here is, we're not collecting private data, so it's not like I know who entered the building or their name or anything really about them. But what we're saying is that we've tracked a device that enters this zone, this geofence.
Okay.
And now I want to advertise to them. I think the thing to remember is that with digital, especially, nothing is by chance. When you see an ad for running shoes and you were just talking about getting a new pair,
what a coincidence.
That isn't a coincidence, right? So basically, this is already happening to everybody all the time. But now I'm bringing this technology to smaller companies who previously, again, couldn't afford it or even know how to do it.
Right. So bottom line is the phone. The phone is the vehicle, or perhaps an iPad, something that some device that somebody is carrying, and it gives you an opportunity that you could either be able to throw an ad my way, or throw an email my way, or is it both? I mean, and how do I sign up if I want to use it for my business?
Oh, good points. So it's not a pop-up or anything invasive, but it's a banner ad, like a picture ad. A visual ad that would appear on various websites as you continue to browse the internet.
Okay, so it could be an ad that shows up in many places as I'm browsing, not just in one.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it's not like we're just choosing Facebook to advertise or Google to advertise. We're able to utilize a network of over 2 million websites.
Wow.
At least one of which you've probably visited today.
Right.
And place ads on their site based on this geolocation. So,
wow.
Yeah. And you
That's
see it for
cool.
30 days or up to 30 days. So, after we identify you as a device to reach, you're going to continue to see that ad as long as really we want to.
So how does a business sign up, and what can they expect to get out of the...
Well, everything we do is bespoke and custom. We don't have like an online automation system and everybody's not being assigned a customer number. So we really want to work with people and make sure it's the right fit. I wouldn't even sign up everybody just for this service alone. But, getting in touch with me or come in the office, that's a good way to start that conversation. And I think really what can you expect? The difference with SiteHub is, like I said, the custom approach, but also in terms of geofencing. We don't charge per fence, which is a big separator, differentiator with us. A lot of people who offer the service, they say you target one zone. We could target as many zones as you want. And the expectation would be really we sit down, make sure it's a good fit, pick out what zones, design some ads to match, and that campaign can go live within 24 hours.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
24 hours. That's fast.
Yeah, for example, right now we just had a client who surprised us and said they're going to a convention. They have a booth at a convention, right? So what we're going to do is zone off that convention center for that period of time. Anyone who goes in there for the convention, we can assume is a good target for them. And then they are going to get ads. And so that begins today, actually.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So that's just one of the newer areas that you're starting to be able to offer. And it's relatively affordable for a small business on a budget?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you think of it this way, like a billboard costs you $3,000 for the month, roughly, maybe more.
Cost somebody else $3,000 for the month,
Someone
but
else. Yeah, right. But this is about a third of that price or less at a starting budget. You're really paying for how many eyeballs you want to have see it. So for about $1,000, I can get about 200,000 eyeballs at it.
That's great.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, that's a lot of impressions. Or
Exactly.
Yes, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So, this is going to sound a little bit funny, but before I let you go, one of the things I like to ask people who've had success in the business world is, what advice would you give to somebody starting out? You're laughing at me. I realize that you've got a lot. You've got a lot in front of you still, absolutely. Yeah. But you've also come through a lot, and you've come through it recently, and that may make some aspects of the advice you'd want to give very fresh in your mind.
Well, I mean, it's what's on my mind right now. So I'll just. It's not necessarily the key piece of business advice. I'm not sure if there is one piece.
Probably not.
Right, but I would say that. Be careful, be cautious of a deal that sounds too good to be true. I've had people approach me with what seems to be a really good offer, and when I was early in my business, I thought, wow, they're going to pay me twice as much as I'm asking. Wow, this sounds really great, and it never really is as this sounds. Everyone's got their own self-interest, and in business, that's natural. And I think you just have to be cautious that. Not everyone's out for your success, but at the same time, not to be too skeptical.
Not too jaded.
I mean, we have people like the Chamber that really are there for you. So I think it's all relative, and keep in mind who you're working with. But again, like the Chamber's just been an incredible resource.
Thank you.
For us, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, it's a two-way street.
Yeah.
We love having you as a member. We appreciate, all the ways in which you support the Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce as well. So you've been listening to Business Voice, a program of the Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce, sponsored by Pet Saver Healthy Pet Superstore. And here we are right on WYSL. And I am, so delighted that you were able to join us here today. Sean McKay, owner of SiteHub. And I'm going to try this one more time. One more time, Sean. SiteHub, which was named Best in Digital Marketing by Digital Rochester this year, just a few weeks ago, actually.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We wish you many, many more years of success. Thank you so much for coming on.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're listening to Business Voice, a program of the Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce, sponsored by Pet Saver Healthy Pet Superstore. I'm Sarah Lentini, and I want to thank my guests on the program today. We listened to and met with Dave Fornuto of USA Payroll Agency, and also Sean McKay of SiteHub. Both great business people and great businesses in the greater Rochester community, as well as in the Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce membership. So it's fall. Fall is open enrollment time, the time when most of us are able to make some changes to our health care plans, something that I know is very important to many of us. The Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce has a long history of offering medical, dental and vision insurance to folks throughout the greater Rochester region. We are licensed brokers and have a licensed brokerage firm, and we are very excited that starting this year, we're going to be working with USA Payroll Agency, which is also a licensed brokerage firm, and they are giving us the ability to expand our capabilities, our capacities, and the products and services that we can offer to folks throughout the region in the areas of health insurance and related services and products. So we hope that you check us out. We're going to be having a couple of open enrollment meetings in the month of November. And we're going to be putting that up on our website. It'll be open to the entire community. You don't need to live or work in Greece or be a member of the Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce to participate in our health insurance program. And if you want to check us out, you can go to greecechamber.org. That's greecechamber.org, or you can always call us the good old-fashioned way at 585-227-7272. Health insurance is not the only thing that we do. We have lots and lots of events, big and small, some of them that are open to the community as a whole, some of them that might be more focused on our members, but all of them are open to folks outside of the town of Greece. And we're hoping that you're going to check us out on the web and see what's coming up. One of the areas that we're particularly interested in focusing on, especially in the month of November, is helping small businesses in particular, large businesses as well, that's fine, but helping small businesses and folks in the community that might need a little bit more assistance because they don't have big HR departments with some of the newer requirements that have recently emerged for all businesses, specifically having to do with needing to have a sexual harassment policy in place, a complaint procedure in place, and providing sexual harassment training, which needs to meet certain requirements, and having to provide that training for all of their employees. So we are working on providing the expertise, not through our staff, but through folks that are specifically trained in this arena, providing the expertise and the guidance and the resources to our members in the business community so that they can meet these requirements without, too much fuss and too much cost. Again, please check us out at greecechamber.org. That's greecechamber.org, or call us at 585-227-7272. That's 585-227-7272. Most importantly, we hope you've enjoyed today's program, and we hope that you tune in for the next edition of Business Voice.
You've been listening to Business Voice. The Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce serves businesses, nonprofits, and individuals throughout the region, focusing on promoting economic and community development and serving as the voice for business. The Chamber offers networking, education, advocacy, community events, and business services. It serves as an important platform for business leaders and citizens to come together in support of common goals.